and welcome to this ECTV guide to making a fiberglass mould. First, you need to coat the mould with at least 8 coats of a good quality Canova-based wax. Apply in small circular motions, then leave to dry for a few minutes before buffing off with a clean cotton cloth. It's best to use 2 cloths, one to take the main wax off and the other to polish any remainder off the mould surface. You must make sure you wax your mould correctly and follow the guidelines on packaging. Any deviation from this could cause your part to adhere to the plug surface. Apply a layer of tooling gel coat at room temperature and with 2% catalyst added to the gel coat. This layer should ideally be 0.6mm thick. After the gel coat is cured, approximately 3 to 4 hours, you can then add 1 layer of 300g chopped strand matting with an isophthalic resin such as Cristic 491PA, making sure this layer is thoroughly impregnated and there are no apparent air voids, which will transform into your finished mould. Use basic laminating tools, such as a paddle and also a radius roller to get into the small and awkward areas such as corners. The next stage is applying the main body of the mould. We're using Optimold, so we need to lay 5 layers of 450g chopped strand mat in one application. Have all your materials at hand and also have your matting cut up ready to be used before starting. Add 2% catalyst to the resin, i.e. 20 ml of catalyst per 1 kg of resin. You should use a 3 to 1 resin to glass ratio. So, for every 1 kg of matting, you need 3 kg of resin. Depending on the size of the mould, you may have to work in smaller, more manageable amounts. Weigh your resin, for example, 2 kg at a time, and add the catalyst 40 ml. Stir thoroughly and apply a layer to the mould. Place your first layer of matting onto the mould and apply more resin. The matting at first will seem rigid, but once the resin has been applied, the styrene in the resin will dissolve the binder in the matting, making it more pliable and can be stippled into corners, etc. Each layer must be consolidated properly with a consolidating roller. In this demonstration, we're using a paddle roller. Any strands which are sticking up can be stippled down with a brush. You can add additional reinforcement around flange areas to add strength. Here, we're showing talc mixed with resin mixed into a thick but pourable paste, equally distributed around the area. "18mm boards are then placed into position and pressed down firmly. Leave this to cure hard. Usually 2 to 3 hours at room temperature is sufficient. The Layers of chopped strand matting are then cut and laminated over flange and up onto the body of the mould. When cured, rub off any sharp nibs with sandpaper and leave the mould to cure overnight. We now need to release the mould from the plug. Break away carefully around the edges. Insert a plastic wedge between mould and plug, and this will lift the mould away. Trim the edges of the mould, i.e. fiberglass that has exceeded the plug, and rub the sharp edges for handling purposes. Carefully look for any defects. These can be rubbed with 1200 grit wet and dry paper and polished with a polishing compound such as Fariclar, Rapid and Fine Cut. The mould is now ready to be treated with wax release agent. A good quality Canauba based wax is used in this demonstration. Approximately 8 to 12 coats is to be applied, 1 hour between each application. Apply the wax in small circular motions and leave to dry for 5 minutes. Buff off when dry with a good quality polishing cloth. It's best to use 2 cloths at this stage, the first to take the bulk of the wax off and the second to make sure all the wax has indeed been removed. After all this has been done, you are now in a position to use your new mould.